That pass away from Raymond Felton.
There's a lot of words you can use to describe Russell Westbrook. Energetic, hyperactive, inefficient, do it all. Perhaps the word that best summarizes Russell Westbrook is polarizing. On one hand, fans of him love him for his intense passion and ability to do it all on the court. His blend of athleticism and power can make for some intense moments, and he's always shown he has the drive to win every time. On the other hand, critics and haters note his inefficiency, his apparent stat hunting that leads to triple-doubles, and the fact that he's never won a championship to rag on him. But what do legends of the game say about him? Let's see what NBA legends think about the Brody, Russell Westbrook. But before we continue, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel for more One of Westbrook's biggest fans is Oscar Robertson, the man that previously held all the records Russ holds now. I totally enjoy the way Westbrook plays, Robertson said in an interview with the New York Times. He's a dynamic individual. They've moved him around to different teams, and I don't know why, because I think he's one of the star guards in basketball. I guess they thought that when he went to Washington that he would not be that effective, but man, he's done a tremendous job. Indeed, it's been puzzling why a player of Westbrook's caliber has been moved so many times. He's gone from OKC to Houston to Washington to the Lakers in a span of 3 years. This only served to prove just how good he was. He was able to take a team full of specialists in OKC to the playoffs multiple times without a co-star. In Houston, they were nearly successful in dethroning LeBron until the COVID pandemic derailed Westbrook's run. And in Washington, he took yet another team of almost nobodies and Bradley Beal to the playoffs, where they took a game off of the eventual champions. He's the ultimate floor raiser. Charles Barkley likened Westbrook's energy and dogged attitude to Kevin Garnett, another high-octane guy who seemed to not have an off switch. Russell Westbrook and Kevin Garnett play harder than any two players I've seen in the NBA, he said.
I've never seen a player give maximum effort every single night like him.
And really, that's what's captivating about Russ's game. When other players give their 110% in-game, he gives 220%, no matter the stakes. He'll just be as hyped during a regular season game as he will be in the playoffs. Kobe Bryant sums up that energy simply in a 2015 quote saying, "Westbrook plays mean. He plays mean like I did." Speaking of Kobe, he reportedly ran into Westbrook and former OKC teammate Kevin Durant in the locker room after the duo was eliminated by Kobe and the Lakers in 2010. He hugged both of them and said, "Y'all, two bad dudes. I'm glad we're done with y'all." Greg Popovich, on the other hand, praised Westbrook's defense, likening him to an infielder in baseball. "We know what he does offensively and how aggressive he is, but on defense, he's like the ultimate utility infielder. He's everywhere. He guards everybody. And he's making decisions and getting steals, getting offensive rebounds at one end, getting defensive rebounds at the other. His motor is always going. He never lets up, ever." That perfectly summarizes Westbrook's intensity on the court. Despite Westbrook's multiple achievements and accolades, fans and media critics have always ragged on him. He's an easy target for this hate. He plays with a lot of passion and anger. So when that anger doesn't translate to a win, it's easy to mock him. However, what most fans have an issue with Westbrook isn't his stats, it's his lack of titles. Recently, the latest media guy to come at Westbrook from that angle was Stephen A. Smith, who said that the numbers are the numbers. That's Russell Westbrook. He can do that to anybody. But I'm at the point in time in his career where it ain't about that no more. It's about whether or not you can get to another level to win the chip. Many of the league's old guard have defended Westbrook on this argument. Oscar Robertson in that same Times interview said that, "I think it's ridiculous that some sports writers criticize him because he has not won a championship. Players don't win championships by themselves. You've got to have good management. You need to get with the right group of players. And to an extent, it's true. It's rare for a team with only one star to win a chip. Wesbrook came close to having a decent team around him in Houston, but again, the pandemic derailed his chances there. Even Shaquille O'Neal, who loves using his many championship rings to win arguments on TNT, had this to say: "When you're a great player and you're putting up great numbers, people are always going to say, wait until you have a championship. If you don't get a championship, that's not a knock." Isaiah Thomas, on the other hand, said that Westbrook's only fault was not demanding more. Now, what some superstars have done is they demanded more from their coaches, from their general managers, from their teams, to make sure they have the right support system. If Russell Westbrook is guilty of anything, it's not being demanding of his coaching staff of the organization he's playing for to say, hey, I want more. As an MVP caliber talent, you should be demanding MVP talented coaching. Westbrook has long been burdened by inferior supporting casts. It's not that his teammates were bad. They were all pretty decent in their own right. The problem was that they were ill-fitted with Westbrook's style of play. His coach didn't help either. Scott Brooks has been memed on the NBA Twitter for his lackluster coaching and lack of decent play calls. It's clear to see that a lot of the league's great recognize the greatness of Westbrook. Lack of titles be damned. What does this say about today's media culture? That the media, Twitter, everyone talks about championships like they're the end-all be-all of defining greatness. As it turns out, sometimes there comes a player so great, so talented, that even those who've won it all recognize him even without a ring to his name. I think it's fair to say that Russell Westbrook will continue to be the subject of many basketball arguments in the future. Is he selfish, stat-hunting jerk who only cares about his stats and not about winning? Or is he an ultra-passionate star who's the victim of unfortunate circumstances and inept coaching? This question will continue to divide the NBA community for years to come. I personally believe that championships are a good measurement of how great a player was. However, in the case of Westbrook, he has proven to be so damn good that the lack of a championship doesn't matter. Sometimes, you just have to appreciate greatness when you see it. And that is what a lot of the legends have said about Westbrook. Instead of talking about his lack of championships, talk about his drive to win. How he is able to take even the most mediocre of teams and make them competitive all by himself. How he's able to do nearly everything on the court, like an Energizer bunny, in the words of LeBron James. Don't hate on the man, but instead recognize just how amazing he has been. That will be all from this one, folks. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to our channel. Let us know what your thoughts are by leaving a comment down below as well. We'll see you again with something new, so you can click that bell icon to get notified in the future. Till then, see ya!